I got my heart set on gains. I got my mind set on gains. But it's gonna take patience. A whole lot of spending stable coins. Welcome. Would you like to learn what are the top 10 cryptocurrencies in order to make 100 to 1000x gains in the next bull market? What I'm going to be doing in this episode is I'm going to be exposing you to diversified portfolios. Portfolios that contain potential powerhouse cryptocurrencies in the blue chip, the mid risk, and the high risk. What this is going to be covering is it's going to be covering strong coins that are solid projects that have got network effect, that are on massive exchanges, have got liquidity, all the way down to the high risk, which are on lesser exchanges, are likely to survive this downturn and could make even better gains, but the risk is much higher. That is what I'm going to be producing in this video. Now, my name is the Suppoman, if you weren't already aware. I'm sure you are. I am the superhero of cryptocurrency and the finder of 100x gems. Would you like to follow me on Instagram? Because I am doing stories very often on Instagram. So it's instagram.com/superman.yt. I find stories a fantastic way of being able to create visual tweets. So instead of on Twitter, it's all words, I like to communicate via stories and let you know what I see as the opportunities. And today's story will not disappoint, so make sure that you watch it. And I will be answering your questions. I've been in cryptocurrency for 5 years. So I am perfectly placed to be able to answer your questions. I've got a lot of knowledge, got a lot of experience. I know when to be bullish, when to be bearish. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not always right, but for the majority of the time, I can pick very, very good investment gems. So follow me on Instagram, and of course, smash a like on this video, and subscribe and join the incredible Team Suppo, of which there's over 112,500 people, and hit the bell notification, etc. Right, okay, intro is done. So, what I'm going to be doing today, let me just firstly share this over to the people of Twitter, make sure that I'm live and everything. So, yes, you can hear me, and that's all good, obviously. So let me share this over to the people of Twitter. If I had a team, they would do it, but it's all me. I do all the research, I do the editing, I do the video content, I do the sharing. It's all me. There's only me in Team Suppo when it comes to content creation. Right, okay. So, what you will have seen in today's Instagram story is essentially that I said that the all-time best prices are coming up. All you need is patience, essentially. Just have a little patience. Anyway, yeah. So what you need to have is patience. You need to just wait for the Bitcoin price to achieve a massive low, which will drag altcoins down and bring it to arguably all-time best prices. Now, I'm not going to be here arrogantly and say I know exactly how low Bitcoin is going to go, and I can't say for sure when it's going to happen, but what I can say is the likelihood is it's going to happen within the next 6 to 8 months. Now, many are predicting that we are in a recession, that we're going to have a recession in 2023, we're going to have a recession in 2024, and that's when it's going to start. We could already be in a recession. But I would say that a recession will essentially guide when we are going to have the lowest prices. And as I showed you the other day, this is the calendar that is coming up that is going to have the biggest impact on cryptocurrency prices. We have got the FOMC meeting in July. Now, this could be actually this. So we could have the worst meeting in July and the better meeting in September, or vice versa. What we've got from the period of October through to the new year is we have got stimulus packages happening in the US and midterms happening in the US. And given that the US essentially covers the 70% of all spending in the entire world, then this has a big impact, okay? And then the likelihood is, according to reports, is that we're going to go into a recession next year. Now, in the meantime, the Bitcoin price is doing weird and wonderful things. So it has gone as low today as 19,270, which I saw happening this morning. It was shooting down at a rapid pace, and then it's gone up 1,000. So it went from 20,200 to 19,200, back up to 20,200. And this can be quite nicely summarized by my Twitter, which I should have had up. So, what I said on Twitter is that this is very much a scalping ground for leverage traders. If you watch in cryptocurrency YouTube at this present time, you are seeing at this present time a load of cryptocurrency channels that are doing sniping, that are doing live trading. And what they seem to be doing is they do these like little leverage trades. Oh, I'm going to do $1,000 position on Bitcoin at 20,200. And if it goes down to 20,000, I'm going to exit my position. It's just stupid. But basically what you've got right now is just a load of small moves and profits being made left, right and center. Right? You've got people making these profits, and you are seeing that it's a time of boredom. It's a time of real lack of actual activity happening in the market right now. Okay? And it's a boring time. So therefore, the most important thing or the things to be looking out for are what's going to be happening with the Bitcoin price in the coming calendar. And that is July. And this is what's going to ultimately cause price action. Oh, bear with me. Anyway, so as you will have seen in previous months, prior to the FOMC meeting, as you see sideways action, FOMC meeting drop. Sideways action, FOMC meeting drop. Sideways action is happening again. You know, it's essentially we're having just the same exact pattern happening each time in between FOMC meetings or Fed meetings. Now, the one in July, we don't know what's going to be said, right? But what we can predict is that things are going to get worse. Recession has not, inflation has not been controlled. They're either going to put 75 basis points or increase the percentage of tax, and therefore cause a big spike down. Okay? Now, where do I imagine the bottom will be? Well, I imagine that a potential bottom, as you can see from what I've drawn out here with my various squiggles, is that I think a potential bottom's about 10k. And I think that is going to be on an announcement of a recession. Now, is there a recession going on at the moment? Well, there is reason to think that there is likely to be a recession right now, or at least about to happen. Okay, so the Institution of Supplier Management, or ISM Manufacturing Index, is basically saying that manufacturing is falling to its lowest point, and manufacturing is an indicator of a looming recession. So is unemployment. And unemployment seems to be the one factor which at the moment doesn't seem to be rearing its ugly head, but manufacturing definitely is. Okay, so if we go down and have a look, we can see that the ISM survey index of national factory activity dropped to 53 last month, the lowest reading since June 2020, and this is following a reading of 56.1, and we need to go dump to 43.1 to signal a recession. So 3% difference between May and June. So it would seem that if it's 3% a month, then it's likely to be that in 3 to 4 months after from June is when we could be seeing a recession based on this factor alone, which is the national factory average, essentially. But it's the lowest reading since June 2020, so the situation isn't getting better. So if you are seeing right now or feeling like Bitcoin going up 1,000 in one day and go down 1,000 in one day is actually an indication of bullishness, then think again, essentially. We have got a long way to go. I don't know how long a way to go we have, but all I know is that I don't think there's going to be any real hurry to get into top cryptocurrencies, of which I have put together these diversified portfolio lists. By diversified portfolio, what I mean is that it's not just going to be layer ones. So if we have a look at my bear hit list, this is mainly comprising of layer 1. So Solana, Near, Elrond, Mina, Cadena, Moonbeam, Moonriver, Telos, Saito, Stratos. So basically like 80% is infrastructure. Why? Because infrastructure are multiple narrative beneficiaries. What I mean by that is that when Solana creates an ecosystem where they've got NFT projects, DeFi projects, meme coins, supply management tools, metaverse projects, play-to-earn gaming, decentralized social media, stable coins, all of those various categories that comprise an ecosystem, which is what Ethereum is very mature in, when these infrastructures create them and develop them, they always thrive. So when the metaverse trend was thriving, so did layer 1s. When NFTs thrived, so did layer 1s. When DeFi thrived, so did Ethereum. Because Ethereum was the most mature ecosystem to cope with it, and then so did Binance Smart Chain in April last year. So that is why I have a particular preference for infrastructures, because they are multi-narrative beneficiaries. Whenever a particular narrative is doing well, whatever layer 1s have an ecosystem within that narrative also do well. All right. However, what I have done is I've put a diversified portfolio. Now, what I will say, because I will start with the blue chip, is that there is still an emphasis on infrastructure. And the reason why is because this is where I have certainty that there is going to be constant growth. Okay, so if there's a metaverse season, then you're going to see the likes of Decentraland and ApeCoin doing very well, right? And they could explode in those if it's a particular super narrative. You know, once the bull market comes back, once we have essentially gotten through the worst, once we've gotten through everything, the market starts to recover, we see signs of stability, then the likelihood is that these narratives are going to come back again, they're going to be alive again, and you're going to be making savage cash again. And the best ever opportunity. I would say there has never been a better opportunity ever. What's coming up? There has never been a better opportunity ever, and will there likely to be ever be one again? No. This is it. I've been in cryptocurrency 5 years, and I can say that there's been tons of people that said, oh, you were lucky you got in early. You were lucky you got into Ethereum when it was this price, or Bitcoin when it was this price. Yeah, but guess what? The prices are coming back. The prices are coming back. And maybe not for Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I don't think it's going to hit $1,000. I don't think it's going to go from anything of a range of 1,000 to 5,000. But I do think altcoins are going to be essentially dragged down. Because look, if we look at the all-time high index, you can see there are multiple 90%, late 80%. The only ones that they don't have that in is in stable coins. So, and even in stable coins, look, 14%. So, so I think that from all-time high, we're going to see 100%. I think we're going to see 100% all across the board once we start seeing some real lows coming in. So I am not impatient. I am not buying now. I've done a bit of dollar cost averaging. I'm leaving it. There are people, there are YouTubers, there are influential people that are saying, oh, cryptocurrency is bottoming now. We're at or near a bottom. Bull! Oh, God, bull! And a recession could last for a long time. A recession could last 2 years. And we haven't even got into it yet. So how can we be at or near a bottom? I just cannot understand the rationale of people saying that. The likelihood is that we are going to have inflation around for a while. And given that there's going to be a stimulus package happening in October to December of this year, for quite a few states in the US, and I think they're pumping in money into the economy is the exact wrong thing to do, exacerbating the likelihood of a recession even quicker and more violent. Therefore, meaning that I think that we have just got so much more falling to go. Plus, we have got minor capitulation to go. Now, I'm going to show you this graph here. I'm hoping that you can see it. And what you can see here is essentially the minor capitulations that have happened in various bear markets. Okay, so we have a minor capitulation all the way down here at 3.5%, minus 3.5%. For COVID, minus 3%. And where we are as of June, because this report is only a couple of weeks old, And this is charting to when we hit 17,500, we're at 1.5%. We're not even half of 2018 bear market. Not even half. Now, if we have a look and see, miners are now under significant financial stress, with Bitcoin trading near the estimated cost of production, incomes well below their yearly average, and hash rate noticeably coming off all-time highs. So there's huge $7 billion of losses, and long-term holders contributing some 178k worth of Bitcoin on the sell side. Now, what it also says here is Bitcoin market participants across the board are at or very near historically high financial pain thresholds. That means that you have to experience, we're masochists. We can experience and witness our cryptocurrency prices going through the floor and still not sell, still not capitulate, and still watch, and still hodl, because we're strong hands or diamond hands or whatever. And we got a high pain threshold, but eventually especially when you have got skin in the game and you've got mining equipment and you are actually using electricity to mine Bitcoin, then this is going to pose a bigger threat than just merely hodlers. And so looking at this miner capitulation, look, it's right here in red and orange, or orange and yellow. It's right here in front of you. We have not even started to see the violence of miner capitulation yet. And that's going to come. That is soon to come. With the high amount of Bitcoin being bought between 20 and 40k, the more we breach that level, which we're going to breach it, probably for the FOMC meeting, probably in September, then the likelihood is it's going to force the hand of miners. They're going to sell mining equipment, they're going to sell the Bitcoins, whatever they've generated, and then bang, bang, And then that is where I think that we are going to really see buying opportunities. And that is what I'm very, very excited for. Now, in the meantime, what has happened on the bullish side? So on the bullish side, Celsius was a liquidation cascade risk. What I mean by that is essentially by these guys going under would essentially have caused a selling off of assets across the board, or all the assets they may have held, right, in order to, a liquidation sale, essentially. And Celsius's liquidation price kind of ranged between 14 and 12k for the Bitcoin price. If it hit those numbers, then they were in trouble. But they have actually made loan repayments, made a number of sizable loan repayments that their liquidation price is below 5k. So they're out of hot water, I think, anyway. I don't think we're going to see 5k. We could wick slightly above it, but I don't think we're going to see 5k. So I think that Celsius is kind of out of it. I don't really know what the long-term implications of it are, but certainly the liquidation cascade risk seems to be off the table at the moment. I think Celsius probably still in trouble, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that could be a reason for the slight relief in the prices going up. So anyway, if we have a look, today our extreme fear is very high, is very low. So we're at 19, where we have been previously at 8 a couple of weeks ago, or 7. And now we are... This shit, it doesn't bother us. We're at 20k, and we're at 19. And people don't care right now. So anyway, yeah, there we are. There we are, Marble Arch. So, where do we want to go? Where do we want to go from here? So, you'll know my bear hit list. I've taken you through this ad nauseum. So now, let me take you through these diversified portfolio blue chips. Now, to be honest, do not do what I do. Okay? And this is not financial advice. This is not buy, sell, hodl. This is not you buy this. But this is lists I'm putting together at this present time. And obviously, at the same time, there's an ever-changing picture. All of a sudden, something could go out of business. Something could be very risky to invest in, and I'll take it off the list. But this, at the moment, comprises my buy lists for various levels. Okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm mainly going to touch the blue chip area. You'll notice a lot of the ones on here. With a couple, maybe... it's going to be kind of diversified, I would say 70% blue chip. Not Bitcoin, Maybe Ethereum, but not Bitcoin. It's not going to be ultra blue chip. It's not going to be ultra top cryptos, but it's going to be mostly comprising of top cryptos, with about 30% of low caps and micro caps. Okay, so just before I do that, let me just say hi to you guys. Don't buy the same as me, Felipe. Hold on a minute. Yeah, don't do the same as me, Felipe. Right, we've got 368 of you in the house, which I appreciate, obviously, on this Tuesday evening, whilst there are dwindling audiences on YouTube. So I would love it if you commemorated yourself by smashing that like button. Smash it for yourself. And for me, obviously. But with an extra, congratulations for yourself. So who we got in the house? Canna Startup, Patrick, Severns, Mac Will, Roald, Zornitza, Mivek, Edvinas, Trader NJ, Crypto Finest, CC, USA Local SEO, T Taylor, Roman, Tom 888, Tommy Viles, Stud Alert, Jason, R. Aldu, Glinbert, Lindsay, Herco, Vindy XB, Izzy, Reverend, Jeffrey, Mohammed, Youssef, Mizwa, Senpai, Say Muiza. There we are, got it right for once. George Britcoin, Crazy Investor, Buddy Holidays, good to see you. Sammy Turnpike, you're here too. Good to see you. Remember, I remember everything. Photographic memory. Harry ML, Jimmy Flakes, Deluliu, Mavold, Wrecked Pleb. Is this even live? Well, yeah, it is. You could see that now. 11k according to Richard Hart. Yeah, he maintained 11k right from the beginning. Your boy Richard Hart said that 10k number. He did. I remember in 2018 that Richard Hart called the bear market then. He called it at the time that it happened. It was mid-January 2018, and he said there was going to be a bear market, and it took about 11 months for me to catch up with that. But anyway, yeah. So he, yeah. I don't think I'm going to miss him again. Right. Okay. Super. Yeah. With the like. Yeah. Thank you very much to Lulu. What about Wayu? Clickbait titles. This is not a clickbait title. These titles are true. Okay. So can FTT. What is F? Oh, this. Well, look. This is there, right? And I'm going to explain more in a minute. Maritus, Jupiter, Patrick, Stock, Monica, Ollie Kerr, Samantha Higgins, Barbara, Casper, Julian, David, Banana Man, Leon, Fun Unlimited, Jimmy Flakes, you great super. Thank you very much. Still bullish on moves? Yes, I've downloaded it. I'm still kind of getting used to it. Suppo King, thank you very much. Okay, and now I've got another super chat from Kingsley. Was wondering if you can't take a goosey a project coming out called Axelar. Do you think Akala can do well in the next run? Okay, I will park that for a minute, but I will come back to it. Axelar. Okay. All right, so let's go through this diversified blue chip portfolio. Okay, so as I've already preluded, that this is not going to be completely infrastructure. It's going to have a concoction of different cryptocurrencies. So let me take you through them now. So Solana, layer 1. Polka Dot, layer 0. Shiba Inu, meme coin. FTX, exchange. Chainlink, Oracle. Hold on. Chainlink, Oracle. Kronos, payments. Near, layer 1. Decentraland, metaverse. ApeCoin, NFTs. Theta network, videos. Helium, decentralized internet. Very, very promising projects, a lot of these. These are projects that are, without doubt, held by people who are kind of wealth managers, people who are very, very good investors, people that invest in blue chip stocks, come to crypto, that have an appetite for crypto, invest in these coins. That is why these coins are very solid for the future. All right? Simply because they have got all the liquidity. I mean, they've got incredible amounts of volume, and they have got marketing nailed. Okay? So, let me take you through some of these. So, Polka Dot, I'm not massively keen on. All right? However, I do think that as a narrative, it kind of sits uniquely. It's not a layer 1. And as such, it's got this ability with the whole parachain structure, with the fact they never really had a bullish time. Like, they launched parachains right outside the window of the bull market. Like, they literally launched like November and December and January with Moonbeam and Akala. Whereas Kusama fell right into the bull window. And as such, Kusama went up like 10x. But Polka Dot didn't, right? So Polka Dot went up to like $50, but it didn't quite get to the $100, which it should have. $100, $300. And now it is back in $692. So I think that with the future of Polka Dot, with the fact that people can get into these new projects without KYC, without launch pads, etc., they're able to get into like a Moonbeam and an Akala and all that kind of thing, sacrificing Dot, then this has real potential moving forward. And it's already brought up some magnificent projects. Polka Dot is responsible for some magnificent projects, such as Moonbeam, A Star, Moon River, well, Moon River is actually Kusama, Akala, and Equilibrium, right, which is like a DeFi 2.0. So they are already bringing out some powerhouses, of which Moonbeam, I think, is going to be like their winning product, right? But having said that, I think that like with layer 1s, layer 0s have another layer of multi-narrative beneficiaries. So they have got everything, even their layer 1s, feeding into Polka Dot, which makes Polka Dot go higher. So I think that Polka Dot is very, very likely to be in the strong 3 figures. And Polka Dot, I think, is one that you'll just be able to kind of hodl for years. It's obviously started off by Ethereum Illumini, like Cardano was. So I think that this is going to fly eventually. Shiba Inu is the only meme coin that I hold. I don't hold any Doge. Shiba Inu is the one I think is very, very powerful. And as I showed on my Twitter, somebody actually made a mega buy today. They had a mega pint of wine and obviously purchased 20 trillion Shiba Inu, which is the cost of $210 million. Right? So that is quite outrageous. I personally think they should have waited. But at the same time, Shiba Inu is very strong. So anyway, Shiba Inu has got exceptional volume, really high volume, up there with Polka Dot. Look, very, very much up there, like eclipses FTX token. And when bull markets come, everybody floods to meme coins. And of course, Dogecoin is already too far gone. Shiba Inu is definitely the most exciting, and it's actually an active project, and it's actually got real fundamentals, whereas Doge does not. Doge has luckily got like Elon Musk. Without Elon Musk, it'd be nowhere. But Shiba Inu has got the Shibarium, it's got those Shiboshis, it's got the Shiba Metaverse, it's got Shiba Gaming coming out soon, two big games coming out, as well as being a meme coin. So, and it's got Shiba Swaps, it's decentralized exchange too. FTX I view as kind of like Binance back in 2019. So Binance back in 2019 was about $25. It was between $17 and $25. Now, I must admit that at the time I didn't think much of it. But then, of course, Binance exploded to $700 in the space of, well, not very long, actually. Once 2021 came in, it really blew up. Now, FTX has done so much work, like Sam Bankman-Fried, who's basically the head and face of FTX. He has been doing acquisitions of DeFi platforms, been doing acquisitions of cryptos. FTX has been investing a lot of very, very strong coins and strong ecosystems. And as a result of that, he is looking to bring the same level of popularity and unicorn business status to FTX as CZ did for Binance. And this is much earlier stage. So I think that FTX possibly has more upside. In fact, I think it definitely has more upside than Binance. Okay, now I haven't bought any FTX. I don't know if I will buy any FTX, but if I was to buy any exchange, it would be FTX. Then we've got Chainlink. Don't really need to say a lot about Chainlink. We all know they are masters in the Oracle space. Kronos is a... Wait for this one. You know, Crypto.com is marketing everywhere, payments mainly platform. And I think that over the course of time, Chris, who's the CEO, will be building in better rewards into the token. I don't know quite why he felt it was necessary to take all those cashback awards away. I think that it really, really damaged Kronos and Crypto.com a lot. But I think that was possibly a manipulative move. You know, I think that he did that because they maybe want to buy more tokens back in the market and have more ownership of it. So I think it was a deliberate move. Near Protocol will be the next Solana. Decentraland is essentially I would say, the Bitcoin of the metaverse landscape. ApeCoin, I would say, is really the key coin of NFTs. And Theta, if you really want to get into a content delivery platform that is run by an ex-Google, an ex-Twitch founder, then you've got Theta right here, right? It's a potential powerhouse business. And then, of course, Helium, which is looking to provide internet for the world. And it's got these mining hardware things. And it really is a powerhouse project, I think. And I am actually going to be getting some Helium hardware at some point, I am sure. So these are very, very strong coins. Do they have 100x potential? I think they have 100x potential. Yeah, I don't see that they have humongous potential, but I think they've got 100x potential, not in one cycle though. And that is why these are strong to hodl for multiple cycles. This is 100x over multiple cycles. I don't necessarily think this is going to be 100x straight out. This isn't going to be 100x in one cycle. It could be. If we see dramatic lows, let's say Chainlink goes down to $1.50 throughout this whole bearish time. You know, I could very easily see $150 in one cycle. I could see $150 in one cycle, and that would be 100x. So some of these could be taken down so low, and I do think we are going to see the buying opportunities of a lifetime coming up soon. And I think you could potentially make 100x if the prices go where we think where it's going to go, and we do know it's going to go quite badly. Right, let's now move on to the mid-risk. Okay, so mid-risk are coins outside of the blue chip status. They're outside of the top 50, but they have real potential to get into the top 50, maybe even the top 10 one day. Okay, or at least just push up with the market caps of everything else. Okay, so blue chips are going to go, they're going to be very, very solid in terms of market cap. We are going to be seeing $1 trillion cryptocurrencies by the end of the next bull run, whether that be in 2025, 2026. By the end of the next bull run, I think we're going to see multiple $1 trillion cryptocurrencies. Ethereum's going to be $1 trillion. Bitcoin's going to be multiple $1 trillion. Probably see Pulse Chain in the $1 trillion. Likelihood is probably see a Solana, potentially Cardano as well, in the $1 trillion area. Potentially. Or at least getting up there. So as the goalposts move, so then do these market cap goalposts. So these could easily become, 600 billion and still maintain 64 on the list. So anyway, so we've got Phantom, which has had a lot of FUD. I think this has got potential. Again, I think Andrei Cronje leaving at the time that he did was a deliberate move. I think he'll probably return back to the project. So anyway, yeah, so I think that Phantom will definitely come back. And I do foresee that Phantom could very easily 50x from what it could get down to. And I think it could probably get down to about 8 cents. Mina, this is an infrastructure, the smallest blockchain in the world. Gala is essentially a development team. It's essentially a development house, a software house. They have got multiple really big powerhouse games to come, graphically incredible, AAA standard, console games, licensed partners, partnering up with actual business, actual media companies like The Walking Dead or AMC to actually bring out a Walking Dead game. Cadena, strong layer 1 proof of work. arguably the fastest ever proof of work ever created, and this has fallen quite nicely recently. You know, it's not budged at all lately, but now it's moving down towards the 130 zone, which is my kind of first buy area for Cadena. Immutable X, this is going to be strong in terms of infrastructure for NFT activity. This is essentially a layer 2 solution for Ethereum and other blockchains. So very recently, Illuvium actually utilized Immutable X because of the lack of scalability on Ethereum. They are possibly going to be pivoting to a new blockchain, but certainly in the interim, they used Immutable X for their, was it land sale? So as a result of that, Immutable X, I think, is going to have strong utility down the line. Moonbeam, I need not say any more. I think that Moonbeam is arguably the most promising on all of the 3 lists. And it sits very nicely right in the middle of those 3 lists. It's right in the middle of the middle list at 213. And I personally think that Moonbeam could come down optimistically and hopefully down towards microcap status. It's already now a low cap, right? It's a low cap. Low cap is anything under 250 million. It's a low cap. Unbelievable. This is a large cap, in my opinion. A large cap in the making. A large cap is 10 billion or more. Akala, a DeFi play. Ocean, this is data, big data. Big data companies are huge in the external crypto world. In terms of the crypto world, this is big data sorted by artificial intelligence. It's the ultimate data solution, I think, in cryptocurrency right now. I think it's the monopoly. It's got the monopoly of that market. Velas is a layer 1, and whilst where Solana is a blue chip, Velas is definitely the one looking to get up there. I don't think Velas is ever going to be of the ilk of Solana, if I'm honest with you. But I think that their marketing efforts are going to be so strong. They are going to be very well talked about, I believe. I don't think they're going anywhere. They've been around in cryptocurrency since about 2018. They've been around a long time. They only really came to prominence last year, and I think they're only going to get stronger. And they are building out an ecosystem right now. They're getting into metaverse and they're getting into NFTs. API 3, I see as a young pretender to Chainlink. If the Chainlink Oracle DeFi space does well, then API 3 will likely do well. And then Illuvium, and this is kind of play to earn. This is like an Axie Infinity usurper, in my opinion. So what we have got here is we have got layer 1, metaverse stroke gaming, layer 1, NFTs, multi-chain, layer 2 as well for Ethereum, layer 1.5 officially, DeFi, data, layer 1, Oracle, play to earn. So again, diversified. Now the low risk. This is the one that does have incredibly, high risk, but potentially very high reward. So let's have a look. So what we have got here, again, is a very diversified set of cryptocurrencies. So we've got Moonriver sitting at the top. This is just about hanging on to low cap status, but this is going to definitely become a micro cap. It could very well go down to maybe 15 million, which would be insane. Considering they've had all their vesting unlocks, that gives it a lot of room to grow on the upside. Moonriver, if we have a look, Moonriver's all-time high was $500. $500. Now, if Moonriver gets taken down to $5, which I think it will, then that means it's basically got 100x kind of factored into it. And this was, Moonriver really achieved that because of Kusama season. It came out during Kusama season, during that whole parachain season. And that was the only reason it went up. Like, Moonriver has not yet built up the hype. There's 600,000 Moonriver wallets. So there's already the users. So that means that there's a nice community to be able to actually have users for various different platforms, whether that's decentralized finance, DEXs, metaverse NFTs, all kinds of legitimate businesses coming up in cryptocurrency. Moonriver is essentially Kusama's, equivalent of Moonbeam, the interconnectivity of blockchains. So Moonriver got to $500 with no real fundamentals built into the price. If this goes down to $3 to $5, this could be a fantastic hold. This is one that I am definitely buying. Telos is, again, another proof of stake, very high frequency transaction throughput, very, very quick finality, green layer 1 that doesn't really have the whale VC buy-in. That puts it at risk, in my opinion. But it seems to have done very, very well. Let's have a look and see what Telos has achieved in terms of its all-time high. So Telos has achieved an all-time high of $1.43. So that is 10x loss, 90% loss roughly. What is that? 87% loss. I think that Telos achieved 143 when? It achieved 143 this year. So this didn't have a bull market either, right? This didn't get blown up in the layer 1 bull market of last year. So this has not really had, again, a proper spike. It has not had a bull season built into it before. So the all-time high that it has fallen from is from a bear market or bear trend. So there's still a lot more upside. So we've got layer 1 and multi-chain. Layer 1, we have got the equivalent, essentially, of theta. We have got layer 0. This is the equivalent of Polka Dot, but much further down the line. Much more development needed. Therefore, potential fantastic spikes of price. Now, again, let's have a look and see where Marlin got to in terms of its best ever price. Now, this came out like last year, beginning of last year, I believe. And it hit 32 cents. 32 cents. So that is basically 33x less where we are right now. So what does that represent in terms of 97%? And I think it's going to go lower. Now, if we have a look on Misari, let me take caps off, and we have a look at Marlin. Look at this. Coinbase, Binance Labs, NGC Fenbushi, Arrington. So, how many Premier tiers have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Premier tier investors. I just don't think that this particular narrative has blown up. Now, I have personally had problems getting in contact with Siddhartha, who is the founder of Marlin. So I will be much more bullish once I speak to him. But I still foresee this hasn't even begun to mature. Victoria VR, this is a metaverse play. This is like Seek VR, but much lower down in the process. So if we have a look at Seek VR, because somebody was saying to me yesterday that I should really give it a look. So Seek VR, if I just show you the price action of Seek VR, right? So if we go to all time, like as of October 2021, so this was in the midst of a super trend. As of October, in fact, it wasn't really quite because we hadn't had the announcement by Meta yet, the Facebook and Meta. But it was under a cent. And then come November, this had gone up to $1.14. So this made 114x. And it's still sitting at 33x. So to me, the opportunity's gone. The opportunity was probably at 1 cent. It's gone. But as far as I'm concerned, Victoria VR has not yet properly launched. This came out back end of the bull market last year. And it went up to like 50 cents, if I remember correctly. Let me have a look, because I'm actually an early investor in Victoria VR. So let me just have a look. 61 cents. So it's gone down dramatically. Now, I think that they have maintained incredible volume despite, I mean, look at this. So we have got Moonriver at 10 million. That's the highest in this thread. And then we have got Victoria VR and Everdome. So these say to me that these are two metaverses likely to do really well. We've got Star Atlas, which again is another metaverse. Their alpha came out recently. It looks insane. It looks really, really good. Saito and Stratos, these are layer ones, but very much on the low side. Look, Stratos, 3 million market cap, and they have got Fenbushi as investors, the same guys that have gotten into multiple unicorns in cryptocurrency. Saito, which also have some very, very good investors. So these are 2 good layer ones, and then we've got Castor, which is payment. So this is like the real small version of Crypto.com. So there we are, people. There is a nice mixture of diversified portfolios amongst various risk assets. So what I want to know is from you, what do you think should make this list and what should I look at? I'm keen to actually see what you guys have got to say. In the meantime, we've got nearly 500 people, so it would be absolutely insane to commemorate that with a like spike if you haven't yet liked. So just smash that like, smash it, let it animate in front of you in that beautiful multicolored rainbow style. And yeah, and enjoy that little amendment YouTube have made to the like button. Right, okay, let me now go to I say a lot, I need to really stop that. So I think I've answered your question, Milan, about FTT. I think that it's got potential. Just simply looking at the moves that Sam Bankman-Fried has made, that FTX has made as a business, they are more than just an exchange now. They own, as Gordon Gekko would say. Brilliant. Then we've got the Axelar question. Axelar. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Do not expect me to say anything nice about any... Just as long as you don't expect me to say anything nice about a project, then you won't be disappointed. Okay, so let's have a look at this XLR network. Secure cross-chain communication for Web3. Have they got anything on Messari? Let's have a look and see if they've got any investors. No, they don't. Can't see that. All right, let's have a look at Cypher Hunter then. See who they've got invested in them. Binance X? What's Binance X? Duke One? Probably not the best thing. Coinbase. Okay, so they have got good VCs in it. What I will say is that to an extent, there's a lot of money that was thrown around. I don't know when the token raise was for this, but what I can say is that certainly in the last bull market, a lot of these really reputable VCs were throwing money at anything that had certain buzzwords. If it was metaverse, if it was layer one, multi-chain, they were getting into it. So don't necessarily think that their commitment extends beyond just investing in it. If this is a new project. If it's something that has been around a while, then the likelihood is that they invested it with a mind to helping them. But in the last season, they may have just thrown money and not cared. But these do look like good. They do look like good VCs. Multi-chain protocols, Algorand seems to have quite a lot of connectivity to or partnerships or potential network effect there. Use cases: NFT, DeFi, Universal AMM. Basically, it's basically Moonbeam under a different skin, is how it seems. Yeah, so what they're looking to do, very similar to Moonbeam, is essentially enable for Web3 applications to be able to deliver on multi-asset transactions. That's what this is. So it's very similar under a different skin. Obviously, Coinbase got involved in Moonbeam. Moonbeam's much more mature in its development. Axelar, it's difficult to say where this could end up. It looks okay. Do you think Akala can do well in the next run? It depends. What I would say, Kingsley, is that DeFi has taken somewhat of a catastrophic hit during this bear market. So the likelihood is that people are going to be thinking twice about getting into DeFi. You know, no matter how brilliant it sounds. So let's just have a look at Akala at this present time. So it's managing to maintain a 10-to-1 ratio. over 100 million market cap. It's not bad, and it probably could do well over time. Yeah, probably could do well, but it would not be as good as an investment as Moonbeam, because Moonbeam is more open in terms of its use case. Akala is closed. It's kind of DeFi and financial, what's it called? Biased. Can Mover surpass its all-time high in the next bull run? I think it could, but at the very least, it could certainly over multiple bull runs. It's difficult. It's difficult to say, but I would say that the tokenomics put it in a good situation for it to be able to. It's got a low inflation rate on a yearly basis. It's 5%. It's not that bad. And if the use case and the ecosystem growth continue to build during this bear period, then when narratives get explored in the bull markets, then yes, this could go up dramatically. However, it's a very high competition area. So it could. I think it will, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a high risk. That's why it's in the high risk category. How will Metavpad do in 2024? I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think that the good thing about Metavpad is that it concentrates on metaverse, which is a pretty evergreen area, particularly in this day and age when virtual reality is actually a real thing and people are actually embarking on it. And we've got one of the biggest software companies in the world actually branding into a metaverse company. So I think it could do well. They are staying relevant. So that's the best they can do at this present time. But there's a long way to go, I feel. Thoughts on Parsec? Parsec's an old one. I really I don't give a shit about stuff like this. Real-time historical. It looks like they've rebranded. This was not their buzzword at the beginning. Now the Web3 is a big thing, so now they're kind of, they've got liquidity on Coinbase, but 6 billion plus transactions in less than a second. How old is Parsec? I think Parsec's pretty old. It's not that old, oddly enough. I don't know. I couldn't really say. It looks shit to me. But, if one does more research, maybe they would see something I don't. But to me, it looks like it's pointless to go into something like that that's so closed. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to have anything in the way of good VCs either. And the volume is shocking. So it would be a very high risk play, I think, Donny. We do for time, 53 minutes, not bad. Buddy Holidays, highly appreciate the time you always put into preparing and presenting your content for these live streams. They're well balanced with solid arguments. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much, Buddy Holidays. And I love the fact that you are in all my streams and you're in my tweets. So that's awesome stuff. Banana Man, could you please express the process of buying, storing on a ledger? Oh, really? And then setting sell limits. You can do those on exchanges. You can't really do those on anything other than exchanges. Can we trust exchanges for 5 to 6 figures? You can certainly trust Binance. That's as far as I would probably go with that. And probably FTX. But beyond that, I couldn't say. The process of buying and storing on a ledger is quite simple, really. You need to make sure that the ledger provides a wallet for whatever asset you're looking to buy. You buy the ledger, you download Ledger Live, you download the wallet, you get an address within that wallet, you then go to the exchange and you send that particular asset over to that wallet address, and then it's in your ledger essentially. That is how it works. It's very simple. As for setting limit sells, that's only on an exchange. So that's why a ledger is cold storage. You can't do anything once it's in a ledger. You have to send it back to the exchange. But thank you for the $5. Can you maybe give me your opinion on 8pay? It's too big a risk. I wouldn't bother making highly risky plays. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of cryptos are going to have this kind of seek moment, okay? So if we have a look at Seek VR, if we have a look all the way back, it was basically doing nothing for 3 years, and then all of a sudden at 140x pretty much overnight. Like, you cannot ever really truly account for these things, right? Sometimes these things just happen. Like a phantom super narrative appears out of nowhere. Like Facebook rebranding to Meta caused the whole metaverse to blow up in October, November, particularly November. And this was a beneficiary of that. If that had never happened, Seek would be nowhere now. It would probably be half a cent. And similar for 8pay. You know, if crypto payments becomes a big thing, something like 8pay could probably go through the roof. But 8pay, to my knowledge, look at that. I mean, the volume is an absolute shithole. It's crap. It's too big a risk, and it's only available on decentralized exchanges. You are taking too big a risk. The likelihood is these guys will never get on big exchanges because they need to prove to Binance, FTX, Coinbase, etc., that they actually can achieve and maintain a very high liquidity. In order to be able to get on Binance, you need to show various proofs. You need to show market makers. You need to show 6 months worth of high liquidity and volume without them, because they need to see that they're going to earn a lot from including you. So the likelihood is 8pay is just it could happen, but it's too much of an if. And why bother risking your money with ifs? You could win big, but the likelihood is that you're more than likely going to lose big. So I wouldn't reinvest in it. I think I've probably still got a bit of 8pay. I don't know, but I'd probably just leave it. Glimmer to $50 in 2024. I wouldn't say 2024, but I say 2025. It could definitely happen. What do you think about TrueBit? I think TrueBit's a pile of shit, to be honest. TrueBit and shit rhyme, so kind of. I brought a review on TrueBit at the time, and look at it. It's a dog with fleas. Look, it had its time. You know, it went up to $1.50 or something like that on its first day because Vitalik tweeted something about it being like optimistic roll-up technology. But since then, it's kind of just died. It's a pile of shit. And it's not an Ethereum co-founder. But thank you very much for the contribution, obviously. Jimmy Flakes, what's your take on T-Share? I don't actually know anything about T-Shares, if I'm honest with you. I know it's something to do with Hex, but I don't really know too much about it. What about Cult DAO? Yeah, you know what, actually? Let me have a look at Cult DAO. Cult DAO, I think, was very unlucky. Look at that, 6 million volume. Unbelievable. So Cult DAO was unlucky. Cult DAO looks a lot like how Shiba looked in the very early stages. So if we have a look at, I don't know how far back I'll be able to go, but you know, certainly at the beginning, you know, 13 million, and this was during a bear trend, 48 million, like 83 million. You know, this has a community, or cult as it were, and it very much displays Shiba-esque qualities, and it still maintains some very good liquidity, despite probably being only available on decentralized exchanges. Oh no, they're on Gate now. They're on Gate. Some alright exchanges. Well, not alright really. These are all ones I would say would be at risk of insolvency. There's not really one in there that I would say was safe. But yeah, they've done very well considering the exchanges they are on. This is up there with like Everdome and you know, Illuvium for volume. Magnificent. So yeah, I would say that Cult DAO is a probably on the lower risk side of a meme coin. There's lots of shitty meme coins that probably are achieving no volume at all at the moment, but Cult DAO seems to still be maintaining some good volume. I still hold it, and the likelihood is I may add to it, actually, just as a bit of a speculative punt, but it wouldn't be very much. After Glimmer, what are you most bullish on? That's a great question. After Glimmer, I would probably say... Near and maybe Sandbox. Probably Optimism. I would say are the ones that I think I'm pretty bullish on. You know, I think that Near could be in the hundreds of billions if they do really well. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like, what you've got to realise is that Ethereum got to 140 million market cap in 2018. And Near is building an ecosystem. They've got like nearly $1 billion into a fund to create their ecosystem. So like it is, it's going to be a power structure. It's going to get up there. It's going to be kind of like the next Solana, I think. Have you heard of Reveal from Caesar? Thank you very much for the $20, Caesar. I have seen something in my mastermind group about Reveal, but if I'm honest with you, I'm not into anything new right now. Is it this? The marketing looks a little bit emoji orientated, which I hate. I find that just lacks credibility. Be authentic. World loves an original. Digital anti-counterfeiting. It really seems to suit a certain, it seems to suit that kind of... Mokus? I know that name. It seems to fit a very niche segment of cryptocurrency, which you kind of rely on a narrative for. Like, I don't remember the last time supply chain and anti-counterfeiting really had a trend, except for in maybe 2017 when VeChain really grew. So this, I think, is too much for a risk. I wouldn't bother. It's probably, if it does well, it'll do well for a short term, but more than likely die after not very long. Probably by the time a bull market comes along, they'll already be dead. Chainlink buy-in price, I would say the absolute best price you get Chainlink at would be about 150. If you can get at 150, then hodl onto it for a long time. I don't think I'll ever hit it again. 150, $1 would be even better. The funny thing about Chainlink is that it typically does well when Bitcoin isn't, and funnily enough, Bitcoin's not doing very well, and yet neither's really Chainlink. So it seems to have lost its kind of lost its inverse correlation with Bitcoin. However, having said that, it's a very strong cryptocurrency. To get it around about here would be exceptional. So if you could get it, I think the lowest I got it at 155 in the bear market, in the COVID crash. So, $1, $1.50, I think would be an absolute beauty spot for Chainlink. I think it's going to be quite a long, drawn out bear market. I do think it's going to be quite a long, drawn out recession. Having said that, I also think that the worst will be at the beginning, and then it will be kind of sideways up. So a little bit like what happened in 2018 with Bitcoin. A bit like what happened in 2018 with Bitcoin. Like, it hit a bottom. It took a year, but it hit a bottom. But the bull market didn't actually start until around here. Okay? And until then, it kind of went up, down, but it never really found the bottom again. So I think the bottoming period is going to be, either within the next few months, or it's going to be in the first few months of January. Right, I think that is it for today's episode. Make sure that you follow me on Insta. This is the main social media I'd love you to follow me on, because I would love to do more on here, and I am doing more stories, and I don't want it to essentially make stories for 300 people. So, basically join and be part of Team Instagram. And it's just, I foresee it as a good secondary tool to YouTube, as well as Twitter. You're already on Twitter. Anyway, I think that is it for today's episode. Thank you very much for turning up. I don't want to be on here I don't want to overstay my welcome, which I have again. So, there we are. I will get back to my full face again. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I hope that it's given you A, some fantastic coins to consider, and B, rationale as far as diversification is concerned, because they're not all layer ones. You can see it was a mixed bag. You've got payments, oracles, DeFi NFT, metaverse, and layer ones, layer twos, all sorts, right? You've got a mixed bag, right? But ultimately, if I'm honest with you, the absolute best kind of cryptos to get in are infrastructures. My favourite are infrastructures. They've never really steered me wrong as long as you can get into the right ones. And of course, metaverse, it just seems to be very, very strong as a crypto narrative because it's just so digitally focused and perfectly suits crypto. So therefore, I would say that metaverse was my kind of second play, and then probably NFT. So metaverse gaming I kind of put together. So anyway, yeah. So there we are, people. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got a lot out of it. I will see you of the next time. It is lights out, all out.